What's up? What's up, you guys? So let's talk. I think that this is about a couple of things. One, I'm gonna try to keep the time. Yeah. One is that some people have messaged me and here on YouTube and also on other websites like my blog. I've had people email me, but from watching my YouTube videos, to talk about my weight loss. And I mean, like, because I just hit a really big goal, which was 75 pounds, and that's kind of incredible and amazing, thank God. And I've been quite successful, I would say, overall. But I've had people, over the last 3 weigh-ins, I've lost, like 3 weigh-ins ago, I lost 4.2. And then 2 weigh-ins ago, I lost 2.2. And then last week, I lost 4.2. What I anticipate happening next week when I weigh in is either a maintained small gain or small loss, because I kind of tend to trend that way, like big loss, good loss, very small loss, big loss. So, you know, it's just kind of a cycle. I had talked to my leader about it, not me necessarily, but we were just talking about cycles, and she was talking about how your body follows a cycle, and there's been a very definite, clear trend to mine, so I'm anticipating that for next week. But people have expressed concern to make sure I'm still doing things healthy. Yes. And my Weight Watchers app yelled at me about losing too much weight. They said it's okay so far, but if I lose too much next week, then I should talk to my doctor. Excuse me, but I talked to my doctor today because I am having an incredible amount of pain, and what we came to the conclusion is that it is arthritis flaring up, and it has happened to be or coinciding with a fibromyalgia flare-up. So things inside of my body are sucking right now pretty hard. I've gotten to where I can walk about 4.5 miles in an hour, and I generally run at least 2 to 2.5 of those miles. And the last 2 times I've been to the gym, I have not been able, like last time I went to the gym, I got a half a mile, no, I lied. I got 1 whole mile ran, but I had to break it into 2 pieces, which is unusual. Usually I run about 1.5 miles, take a break and then run another mile. But this time today I went, and I was going to take the day off, but I decided to push myself, and I didn't even get a half mile ran. Yes, I did. I'm selling myself short left and right. No, I got a half a mile, but it was like I had to push, and then I couldn't do anymore. So, I mean, I walked very brisk, like a 4.2 miles an hour walk, but I wanted to run. I wanted to just run fast run, and I couldn't. So, things inside my body are sucking right now. Which brings me to the next thing, and that is motivation, because along with the emails and comments of concern, I got quite a few talking about like, wow, what's your motivation and how do you keep yourself so straight and narrow? And let's talk about that real quick, because let me see how much time. Okay, yeah. This is how it has worked for me. I have always wanted to lose weight. I have always desired to be thinner. And around, I don't know, 26, 27 years old, I'm 30 now, I started to think that the only way I'd be thin is if I got weight loss surgery. And even then, I still tried on and off to lose weight. And then I kind of just embraced it. My partner liked round girls and whatever. And I say I embraced it, but I still hated pictures. I still am not in pictures, most of them, and I still try to avoid being looked at. And I suffered horribly from fat girl paranoia, where like everything and anything that goes wrong is directly blamed on your fat in your head. But so I got really sick. Like a lot of y'all know, I was in a lot of pain. Like, and obviously now later on, it's the fibromyalgia and arthritis I didn't know I had. But also I had something called erythema nodosum, which is extraordinarily painful and usually lasts between 3 and 6 weeks. And I had mine for over a year, all over my body. It's usually just a couple on your legs, and I had like literally 50 to 75 lesions all over my body. It was pretty horrible, and I woke up one day and could not walk. And from there I was in the hospital for about a week, and after that I was on pain medication and unable to do most things. And I got this horrible thought that it was because I was fat, because of that fat girl paranoia, right? So I was like, I'm doing this to my family. I am causing this to happen. And as I started to get better and feel better, I was like, I have to do something. And I kind of struggled with it for about, from January of 2010 till about May, and that's when I went back to Weight Watchers. And I just realized, like, this is it. And in my brain, I was doing it for health reasons. So when I started to lose weight, it was like, I'm going to feel better any minute now. And that didn't really happen. I still have pain, clearly, but my stamina is better, and I do feel better. I just am still in pain. But about a month into it, I realized that I was losing weight and looking better. And I was like, wait a second. I wasn't even thinking about that aspect this time around. So that really made me happy. But I don't eat fast food. I think I have had a severe food addiction, and it was really, really hard for about a month and a half to 3 months. It was really hard. Constantly, I always wanted to eat. I was always hungry. I always had cravings. I always had urges. And some people will say you have to indulge yourself, but I was like, no, I have to make it through the detox first. And what I realized on the other side of that, as I started to come off of that desire born of habit and addiction, was that I am much happier when I'm not using food to medicate myself. And it's hard. It's like coming off of any drug. You feel a lot. You've been keeping yourself numb with food or any other substance. And so when you take away that vice, suddenly it's like you go through a period of like reawakening, which is painful and scary and sad. And it's where the voices are the loudest about all the reasons. You deserve it. You worked so hard for 2 days. You deserve it. You've been exercising. Surely you exercise enough to have that food. You know, those kind of things are in your mind. If you keep telling yourself, no, you're just going to explode one day. Those type of things are like in your brain. And I think that time is when it's the loudest. Once you get past that, then it's like trying to figure out what is a craving. A craving to me is something that will be satisfied once I have it, versus an impulse, which is going to leave me, it feels like a craving, but it's not going to leave me satisfied after I have it. It's going to lead me to another impulse, and I work very hard to separate those two things. And I think that taking a good 3-month step back was good for me, because it was like, what do I really need, and what do I, and since then I've eased myself back into social situations, and to like figuring out what I want and what I actually want versus, I don't know. So, but when I start to think of deprivation, I have never felt deprived. But when you can't walk, you feel deprived. I felt like, and something was taken from me. Something beautiful was taken from me. The ability to walk. The ability to bathe myself without extraordinary measures and extraordinary pain and complete exhaustion. The ability to go out into the sun was taken from me because I was on all kinds of medications that made it to where I couldn't go outside in the sunlight or I'd get violently ill. Those things are things you need to live. Fast food is not on my list. Because when you come from a place like that, doing this is kind of like, it's hard, and it sucks when it would be just easier to eat, but it's nothing compared to being in the hospital not sure what's going to happen next, or the reality or the thought of the reality that you have hurt your family by making yourself so incredibly sick. And the reality is, this sickness wasn't my weight, but eventually the sickness would have been my weight. A heart attack, a stroke, diabetes. I'm lucky that this happened now and caused me to realize things before I did damage myself in a way that my family would have to suffer because of my addiction. So, yeah, that's kind of it. I am healthy. I'm doing things healthy. I talked to my doctor about my calorie intake and my caloric needs, and she feels I'm fine and that I'm doing fine. She was kind of disinterested. Like, yeah, whatever. You were begging you to lose weight. You're doing great. But, so I got like a semi-approval of a disinterested doctor, but still I got an approval. And that is my motivation, is to be healthy and strong and to live an amazing life with my kids, and to set an amazing example so that they don't have to do this. They don't ever waste a moment worrying over extraordinary weight loss. That would make me so thrilled, it would be ridiculous. Yeah. So feel free to post a response video with your motivation, or write it up in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. Seriously, swear, true story. Let me see. Okay, I have time to tell you a really quick true story. I'm running, and I listen to my phone as I run, like music on my phone. And this last time, it was really a horrible workout, and after I couldn't even get through a whole mile, I just wanted to quit. And somebody sent me commented on one of my videos, and it comes through to my phone, and it was like, "You're such an inspiration. Thank you so much." And all I was thinking was, I have to keep going. Like that comment inspired me. So great if I can inspire somebody or motivate somebody, and I just want you to know that a lot of you guys do the same thing for me. And so I thank every one of you who shares your journey with me and everybody else, and every one of you who has chosen to be a participant in my journey. That's awesome. Thank you.